Hello, you hygienically salubrious weirdos. I love you because your behind bouquet is beautiful. I know some people are a little less careful. Today's You Want to Know question comes from viewer and commenter doping1234, and it is, what did people use to clean themselves before toilet paper was invented? And the answer is their dogs. I'm kidding, but that could work, right? Incidentally, there's been a long-standing debate as to whether the toilet paper should be placed on the roll to roll up and over or down and under. But if you look at the original patent, it looks like the intended application is up and over. Up and over does give you easier access and more control over the perforations, less likely to tear when you don't want it to tear. However, if you have cats or small kids, down and under is probably the way you want to go. Plus, it looks better that way. If I had to accept the inventor's opinion, then I would have to start calling these GIFs. On to the question, but first, by the way, if you have a question you want me to address in a video, write it in the comments section. Oh, and while you're at it, subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss it when I do. Supposedly, the Chinese invented toilet paper in 589 AD. They invented paper about a half a millennia before that, but they didn't think about cleaning their butts with it till the 6th century. The official invention of our modern idea of toilet paper happened in 1857. A guy named Joseph Gaetti created soft packets of paper in flat sheets specifically for wiping off your dingleberries. A lot of people have the belief that before the invention of toilet paper, people actually wiped their butts with pages from the Sears Catalog. But the Sears Catalog wasn't a thing until 1888. Gaetti's paper was made of hemp and coated with aloe, and he sold it as an anti-hemorrhoidal medical product. By the way, right now $1 buys you about 300 sheets with no hemp and no aloe. In 1879, the Scott brothers, started offering toilet paper in rolls. 2 years after that, a guy named Seth Wheeler patented the toilet paper roll dispenser and the perforated roll. Toilet paper was still a pain in the ass. The first splinter-free toilet paper was marketed by Northern in 1930. Splinters in your toilet paper means splinters in your area you use toilet paper. But back to the Sears Catalog. Americans didn't commonly use toilet paper until the splinter-free stuff came out. Can you blame them? But by the 1890s, the Sears Catalog was basically in everybody's home. Pretty much everybody bought their stuff from Sears, or they at least used the catalog as a guide for shopping. Sears was kind of the Amazon of its day back then. The catalog was over 500 pages, and it was free. People also used their previous year's Farmer's Almanac, which was preferable because there was a hole punched in the corner and you could hang it from twine. Another way Americans used to clean their potty path was with an old corn cob. I'm not kidding. The dog idea is starting to sound better now, right? But, are you tired of that yet? Corn cobs were apparently seen as a very efficient way to get clean. Kind of like a loofah for where the sun doesn't shine. You could draw it in one direction and turn it on its axis as you go. Plus, they were readily available and completely disposable. And people continued using corn cobs long after TP was a thing. Free corn cob or $1 for butt splinters. In Japan and China, they used to use these flat sticks that were like tongue depressors. In ancient Greece, they used pottery shards, and sometimes they would write the names of their enemies on the shard before they, kind of like the toilet paper with the politician's face on it. In ancient Rome, in the public toilets, they used a sea sponge on a stick that would wait in a bucket of vinegar until it was ready to use. And everybody used the same sponge. Apparently, they had very sophisticated restrooms where people would all sit around a trough. There were 2 streams of water, one for the poop and one for cleaning yourself. The wealthy Romans would use wool and rose water. Sounds nice. Native Americans apparently did the heavy lifting with flat stones and then wiped with leaves. Incidentally, most Native Americans aren't sensitive to poison ivy, poison oak. That's probably evolution, because nobody wants to breed with you when you got a big rash on your butt. A lot of places in India, people still use water and their left hand. They shake with their right. So very pleased to meet you. Welcome. Apparently Eskimos used to use big clumps of snow, which is probably the most sanitary, but remember, sailors would use old frayed ropes and anchor cables. Not sure if that's a good thing or not. In the Middle Ages, there was a such thing as a Gumpf stick. This is basically a stick with a little bend at the end. Then you take the bend and you'd put it down there and scrape, and however you'd use a stick to clean. And some people believe that's where the term short end of the stick came from, because you don't want to grab the short end. It's that would be really shit. The wealthy French would use wool and a bidet. And if the French get anything right, it's cheese, museums, Ava Green, pastries, and a place to wash your anything the Japanese do well, it's making improved robotic versions of things. A washout is a remote control device that has a little nozzle that'll pop up and wash your backside with water jets. Sounds kind of fun, actually. Sushi, Godzilla, and hosing down your butt. Apparently, though, if you set the pressure too high and use it too long, you can wash away the good bacteria. The kind of bacteria that if you don't have enough, they can give you a boost with a poop transplant. Not kidding, it's a thing, Google it. I wish we had bidets as a regular thing in the States. The next best thing is baby wipes, except not. They do feel good though. But, okay, enough. Even the flushable wipes are bad for sewer systems. Apparently once they get in the main sewer line, they start soaking up all the stuff that's around them, including fats and greases that end up down there. Anyway, when those wipes and all that other stuff accumulate, they call it a fatberg. I dare you to do an image search. Fatbergs do not go away on their own, and there's really currently no machine to take care of them. Budding robot engineers, there's a task for you. There are people whose job it is to go down in the sewer and break up these big clumps of wipes and poops and fats and tampons and trash. A couple years ago, the sewer system in London was shut down by a 10-ton fatberg the size of a school bus. Bonus fact, back in 1973, a congressman from Wisconsin was worried about a toilet paper shortage. In reality, there were federal limits on the prices of paper pulp in the USA, so the companies were making better money exporting their product. This led to the federal government's buying center not being able to obtain their usual amount of toilet paper that they needed for bureaucrats and the military. So in what was probably an attempt to put pressure on the paper companies, Representative Warren Freilich issued a press release that there might be a future national toilet paper shortage. Back in those days, Johnny Carson ran The Tonight Show. He had a bit where he would read funny things from newspapers that his audience would send in. And he made a joke about the toilet paper shortage. Unfortunately, because the average American doesn't have the processing power for satire, a lot of people took it seriously and really started hoarding toilet paper. Then there really was a shortage. At the stores anyway. I mean, you know, the hoarders had plenty. People could have gone back to corn cobs. Carson later made an apology on the show, but it was too late. People were already speculating what other paper products might run short. Question of the day, do you make a paper wad or a hand mummy? Thanks for watching. If you hated this video, give me an ironic thumbs up. If you have a question you want addressed or an idea for a list video, hit me up in the comments. We're here twice a week with new stuff. On the screen is another video YouTube thinks you'll like, plus links to the other Legion of Weirdos channels. And until next time, stay weird and stay out of the comfort zone. I missed.